Caitlin, let's show them why we do this. Now look at that, with the wax finish on it. Looks like it's been clear coated, except it hasn't.
Welcome back to Crossthread Garage and Salvage, a channel dedicated to my dad teaching me, his 14-year-old daughter, how to work on old trucks like this. This week we're going to be power washing my truck and giving it some wax on, wax off.
That's pretty good. Take two. Ready?
We should see who's
You guys are gonna have to tell us whose intro is better.
mine intro is better.
Welcome back to Crossthread Garage and Salvage, a channel dedicated to a dad teaching his daughter how to work on old rigs. In this case, it's Caitlin's 41 Ford. We hauled out of the weeds in Colorado last week and got delivered here to Ohio, where we live in absolute shaded, overcast squalor. No. It rains all the time here is what we're saying, and we're trying to preserve the patina so it doesn't rust this thing out. So what we're doing is we're putting a coat of Carnauba paste wax from SC Johnson on there. National Wood Flooring Association member. Yeah. We put floor wax on the 41 Ford. So thanks for watching, liking, sharing, subscribing, leaving a comment, and telling your friends. We appreciate it, and so does the YouTube algorithm.
It's just too long. Too much information.
Okay guys, we're gonna go ahead and a little earlier than we thought we'd have to do a little bit of patina preservation here. Here's what's happening. This is exposed metal that has been patinaed with no corrosion on it in just 2 days in Ohio. It hasn't even rained. 2 days in Ohio, we've got fresh rust starting all over here. So what we want to do is clean this up and get a coat of floor paste wax on top of all this, especially the exposed metal. I know you're gonna say, why would you put that on your car? Let me show you why I would put that on my car. Because that's how I preserved all of this. This has 2 coats, and I just, for the car show we did last weekend, I did the hood and front fenders again. It puts a nice sheen on it, it protects it. Water will bead off of this like you wouldn't believe. And it's going to keep it nice and protected with no new rust getting through there. So this is why we're going to do it on the 41 Ford. Guys, if you haven't seen last week's episode, I'd encourage you to go back and watch it now. There we tell the incredible story about how Caitlin bought this truck, we brought it home from Colorado, and discovered the incredible part that it played in rebuilding this country after the Great Depression. You don't want to miss that episode. All right, guys, when we're doing a patina preservation here, we've got to get it clean enough to be able to put wax on it and not end up with a bunch of dirt underneath it. So you got a delicate balance to strike between preserving the patina and getting all the dirt off. And I don't know how well you can see here. So what we want to do is we want to get all the dirt off. All right, Johnson's paste wax. That's what we're going to use. You can see I've used a can of it already in 3 years. This stuff goes a long ways. I've been using that on my 47, but Wyatt, Caitlin's friend, is here, and he and his dad drove this out from Colorado. So the 3 of us are going to do a quick just rub down on this with a light coat of wax, just to keep any of this rust from really getting nasty. See the haze on there still? See the back of Caitlin's head there? There we go. Let's make this happen. As soon as today's video is done, make sure you head over to CrossthreadGarageandSalvage.com and pick yourself up some Crossthread merchandise. Hats, t-shirts, stickers, sweatshirts, it's all there for you. The link is on the screen, and it's also in the description of today's video. All right, guys, we're gonna give you a side-by-side here halfway through. You can see how this stuff goes on. There are some places where it's a little thin once it starts to dry. You can just go back in and buff Caitlin, get all the way across the bottom there.
This is a dent.
Yeah. Well, this fender is pretty much done. This headlight is done. And this is what it looks like undone. It's even more drastic when you look at one side of the hood versus the other. Look at that. Done, not done. That is unreal.
One day later.
You can see here, guys, we're gonna have to redo or do another coat of this because we didn't quite get it thick enough here. We were running low, but actually there's a few spots where it didn't cover well. And in fact, we did run out of the paste wax from SC Johnson. If you need to find it, you're in trouble because this stuff right now is discontinued and it is like gold on the internet. You can't buy it cheap, but you can buy it. You just can't buy it in the store anymore. And didn't quite get full coverage on this that I wanted. There are a few other brands that make it, and so we were able to find some. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and do a full coat on the truck again, just to get it as thick as we need it everywhere we need it. And we're gonna shine this thing up like Liberace's Roadster. You ready? You'll have to excuse the noises around here today. The wind's blowing a little bit, the birds are singing, the goats are yakking for something, probably breakfast. What are you looking at, goat? What, are you gonna tear into that thing like an animal?
Ouch. What?
Look, when you get it in there, you're gonna twist it, not pry on it. Right in my face. You don't care if I'm sick enough.
I feel fine.
Oh.
It's a dragonfly.
Remember, Caitlin, it's wax on, wax off. You paying attention, grasshopper?
Wax on, wax off. Don't forget to breathe. Very important.
So because it's northern Ohio here, guys, that means it's also probably about to rain here in the next hour. So we're gonna try and get this coat on before everything gets soaking wet. But when it does rain, we'll be able to show you what this really does to protect the finish. It's gonna give it the appearance of having been clear coated. But with a clear coat, you're gonna end up with it eventually peeling. You're gonna end up with it bubbling because you can't prep this car the way it needs to be prepped for a clear coat without sanding through the patina and really getting down to a base that you don't want to get rid of. What this does is it allows you to come back about once a year, put a fresh coat of carnauba wax on it, and walk away from it. Great, now the chickens are out too. That chicken's having a conniption fit, not an egg. Caitlin,
What?
do you know what they call a factory that makes okay products? A satisfactory. So you got to do swirls, not just lines. There.
I was doing swirls.
Grampy's here to get the trailer.
Oh, it's his car.
No, it's taking Mom's. Caitlin and I'd like to thank the guy that's responsible for today's video, Grampy. Because if he hadn't taught me to work like a rented mule, I couldn't possibly teach her to work like a rented mule. Caitlin, what are you doing? Anybody need a cat? Because we don't. You know, Caitlin, I'm sitting here thinking about our friends. Wyatt and Randy are already gone on the way back to Colorado. And reminds me of Proverbs 18:24. A man who has friends must first show himself friendly. But there's a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Of course, that's Jesus Christ, but we've been really blessed with good friends, haven't we, Caitlin?
Yeah.
Almost exactly 2 years ago, Randy and his family helped us move out here to Ohio. That guy's driven 20 hours plus hauling trailers for me twice, and he volunteered to do it. It's just an incredible thing to have good friends, and it's a reminder to me, if you got good friends, you probably ought to treat them like they're good friends. So Randy, if you're watching, I hope you know how much we appreciate you and Wyatt coming out here and helping us with that. Of course, it didn't hurt that you brought the baby and the wife with you, and Joy and Gracie got a little bit of time with some of their friends too. So Carson, if you're watching, you know who you are. You know what you did. We'll talk later.
Wait.
Huh?
Who's Liberace?
He was a singer. It was a little fancy.
Isn't Johnson & Johnson like a Band-Aid company?
Well, yes, but this is SC Johnson. Now look at that with the wax finish on it. Looks like it's been clear coated, except it hasn't. That won't flake or bubble. It'll just fade, and you can put a new coat on it. It's coming together very nicely. Caitlin, let's show them why we do this. You guys think that any of that exposed metal is going to rust?
Oh, right there.
We didn't do that. We didn't do the grill, and actually you can see the difference in the way the water sticks to the old oxidized paint versus the way that it sticks on the wax paint, which is, it doesn't stick. It runs right off of there. So what we've got here now, guys, is a 1941 pickup that, whether we get to working on this in 2 weeks or we get to working on this in 6 months, this rain that's coming here isn't going to affect this. It's not going to rust everything. It's not going to deteriorate the patina. It's not going to make it any worse than it already is. And actually, it's going to do the work of preserving what we've already got with all this awesome patina. Hey guys, we haven't forgot about the C10 here. In fact, we're going ahead and marking out everywhere Caitlin's going to be spot welding, fixing holes next week. So make sure to like, share, subscribe. Stay tuned for the finish on the C10 project as we get ready to do some rust repair and paint. Oh, and everything here new.